Gentle yoga. We're going to be very gentle today. I think, sometimes, especially with a gentle practice, it's really important to kind of seek out anytime you do yoga. I think it's really important to seek out a kind of getting into every part of your body. And I try to access that through our warm up, just touch in with most parts of the body. But in particular, we're going to do that today. It's just going to be a pretty well-rounded practice with a little emphasis on opening our chest and shoulders. I know a lot of people are spending a lot of time on screens, and this hunch thing that starts to happen. Our upper traps just can get so locked up, and they're part of our breathing. We just really want to have nice, healthy traps. The other thing that happens, I know there's at least two of you in here with some shoulder challenges. When you have a shoulder injury and you try to lift your arm up and your shoulder is not feeling good, you do it with your traps. You kind of like do a weird thing like this to try to lift your shoulder up. So we're just going to get a little bit into loosening the upper traps and shoulders today, along with some other things. All right, so let's sit up straight and tall and take a moment to gather yourself. What has your morning been so far? Have you been up for hours and hours and working hard, thinking a lot, moving a lot, or have you not been moving a lot or thinking a lot? What's your morning been? So let's just take a moment to settle into this moment. Whatever the morning's held, we're going to move our body and we're going to be in our body. So let's just take a moment to enjoy the beginning of the practice, to know that this time is really set forth for yourself. So allow your mind, if it's racy and filled with things, to slow down, taking an opportunity to transition into your practice. Finding your breath, letting go of the to-do list or the responsibilities, and coming into your body. Let's drop some weight down into the lower half of you. So feel your legs get a little bit grounded, a little bit heavy. Notice where you are on your sit bones. So do you tend to, rock way back? Do you tend to move forward? What can you do to settle yourself in the center of your pelvis? Feel that centered base be a support for the lift of your spine. And as you try to find spaciousness through your vertebrae, what's allowing that? Is there muscular activity? Is there anything straining or tensing that you can ease up a bit? Is your breath helping to support the openness of your spine? What does it feel like as you breathe in and out? How does the spine react? As you travel upward, melt into the shoulders. Let the shoulder blades slide and glide a little bit. So if you get stuck often into a habituated hold, what can you do to just feel like there's little weights hanging off the bottom tips of your shoulder blades that can just allow them to anchor downward without pinch or strain? And feel what happens in the front of your body when you access your shoulder blades. What changes in your posture? What changes in your breath? Can you feel a sense of breadth and width across your collarbones? Like they can smile broadly. And all the while not allowing any of these actions, the shoulder blades or the collarbones, to pinch the low back. Feel as though your head can be supported, that you don't have to hold it up so much, that it can be right in the right spot where the spine is its support. And then melt your jaw. All the layers of tension that can hide inside the jaw. See if you can peel off a couple of those layers. Notice the connection between the jaw and the inside of your ears. Maybe try melting deep inside your ears, deep in the base of the skull, deep in the root of your tongue. Find all these deep inner places, and wherever you have access to, consciously melt. And see what ripples outward from there. Let the eyes soften. And as you are feeling the sensations of the body, are you remembering to breathe? As you are ready, place your palms together at your heart and bow in. Just take a moment. What is it that you need today? What's your intention for your class? All right, and then let's release the hands and come on to our back. All right, so as you lie down, let's just enjoy horizontal. Okay, stretch. Now, if your arms don't go overhead very easily, that's okay. Put them even down. Even sometimes stretching your arms down can help your spine lift up. Okay, so wherever your body is most comfortable, stretch through one side, stretch through the other side, feeling not only the side ribs, but the hips. So you allow one hip to hike up as the other stretches toward your foot. Just feel the slight movement in your pelvis. The slight movement in your ribs, the slight movement in your shoulders. All right, and then bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a little rocking. Just feeling the back of the body. What does it feel like as the floor massages your body a bit? All right, and then let's circle a few times. So circle the knees. And then circle the other way. Finding the breath. All right, right knee into the chest, left leg comes long on the floor, and feel free to wiggle the toes a little bit. And it doesn't matter how deep into a flexion you get in your hips or knees. If your knee can't flex super well, try holding behind your knee at the hamstring instead of on the shin. And that might ease up the strain on your knee a little bit. Or perhaps you're really trying to push a little flexion in your knee and you want to hold on to that shin. So just find what you're finding. Feel the feet open. So such important parts of our body that we tend to be sleepy in when we wear shoes all day. So just feel yourself open those feet up. Feel the skin stretch. Feel the arches open. Feel the bones of your feet spread apart and maybe move. And then release that leg down onto the ground and bring your left knee into the chest. Extend the right leg, extend the crown. Feel any type of compression in the hip and knee that's comfortable for you. And experiment. Do you want your knee close in toward your chest, or do you want the knee out to the side a little bit more? What's giving you the best range of motion, the most comfortable range of motion for your body? Keep moving your feet around. Wake up those calves. Feel all the sinew around your ankles open up. And release that leg down onto the ground. Starfish your body open. Stretch from your navel to your tips. Wherever your arms end up is great, so they can be down, out, or up. Find your breath, and then exhale and bring your knees into your chest. Pick your head up, round the spine a little bit. A few more times here. Opening up the breath like a full body cat-cow. Exhale, rounding the spine, tucking the chin and knees in. Couple more times. Open yourself up. Breathe. Exhale and melt. One more time. Feel the spaciousness. Exhale. Relax in. Put your head back down. Keep your knees in. Pull your knees away from the midline and back in. They can be circles, semicircles, straight lines, swirls, anything that is nice for your back, your pelvis, and your hip joints. So just start to get into some little nooks and crannies. What are you feeling in the hip joints themselves? How is your breath? And then put your feet on the floor and let's windshield wiper our knees. Start to wake up the back a little bit. So as you go back and forth, feel free to turn your head in opposition to your knees, opening up the shoulder a little bit if you want. The arms can be coming out to the side.
All right, and then we're just going to pause, drop your knees. So we're still with chair wipering. So don't, move your hips, keep your hips flat. Then drop your knees, to the left. Your right hip will lift off the floor. That's good. Stretch your right arm up over your head if you can. If not, put it where it goes. And find that line from your knee to your hand and open up that side body as best as you can. Breathe here. And then come back to center and drop the knees right. Left arm stretches up overhead. Maybe you want to turn your head to the left, see what feels good. Stretch through that left side body. And then release, bring your knees back to your chest, pick up your head, hug in. And then we're going to roll over onto our side. Before we even do some cat-cows, stretch back towards child's pose. Settle your hips toward the heels, wherever you comfortably go. So I know this deep flexion is not available for everybody. We're going to open up the back of our shoulders just a little bit. So come up onto all fours. We're not twisting just yet. So oftentimes we do the thread the needle twist. Just cross your arm down toward the floor. Palm is up. And then settle back towards child's pose. So you can stretch the back side of your shoulder a little bit. Square the chest toward the floor. And only go as far back toward your heels with your hips that your arm will allow. So this is a deep stretch for a lot of people. Let the back of your neck relax. And then come back up onto all fours. Change sides. The left arm is here. We're squaring to the floor with our chest. We're not doing a twist. Come back towards child's pose. And just see what you're feeling. If your shoulder, can you drop the shoulder blades down? Can you smile the collarbones open? What are you feeling in your shoulder? If there's pinch and it just doesn't feel good to have this level of compression, then go ahead and back away until it feels comfortable. All right, and then come out of there. Bring your hand back onto the ground. And now let's start moving through some cat-cows. So arching and rounding the spine, taking your time to notice. Remember, this is a gentle yoga class, so be gentle with yourself. Allow yourself to move as slow as you want. Go into the range of motion that feels most comfortable for you. Notice as you start to warm up the body if your range of motion increases naturally. And then start to move the pose around any way you want to move the pose around. So you can roll through your shoulders, feel your shoulder blades sliding around, move your head around. Feel free to wag your tail or spin some circles with your hips. Try to get into all the nooks and crannies in the back body. What are you feeling? And then curl the toes under and find your way to dog pose. So now we're in a real full body stretch. So feel your feet, spread out the bones of your feet, maybe pedal a little bit, maybe bend a knee and drop the other heel down to open up the calves. Maybe you want to sway your knee past the midline and cross it underneath you so your other hip can lift high. So just find any kind of awakening that your body likes in dog pose in the beginning of your practice. If Merritt was here, you'd probably be bouncing. Okay, so sometimes bouncing can be a really nice thing to warm up some soft tissue in the body. And then after a little bit of that, just come into stillness and see what you're able to find here. How are your shoulders? Can you spin the eyes of the elbows toward each other, maybe even a little bit up toward the sky as your triceps roll under and your biceps lift up toward the sky? Root into the index finger mounds. Hug the hands toward each other to invigorate some torso muscles and feel the stability in your shoulders. Breathe deeply here and melt the neck. Let the jaw slacken, the tongue slacken. The base of the skull is easy. And then come back down onto all fours and rest in child's pose. Put your arms where you want them to be. Put your knees where you want them to be. So your knees can be close or wide. Your arms can be up or down or anywhere in between. Now we're going to take our side body stretch here. Open your hands over to the right side of your mat and stretch the left ribs. Melt the jaw. So if you know that you have tension in your jaw unconsciously, which is really common, what can you do to start bringing one of the best things you can do if you have any area of your body that holds a lot of chronic tension is bring your awareness there. The more you shine the lights in that room in your body, the more you have an understanding of what's going on. Go ahead and walk the hands over to the other side. And if you keep looking there, you can catch those moments of tension and keep teaching the body, let go, let go, let go. It's okay, let go. So just as often as you can, bring your awareness to your little spot, whether it's your jaw, your eyes, your hands, your throat, your neck, anything that is a chronic spot for you. Come back to center, come up onto all fours. And now we get to do a fuller twist. So reach that arm up in the air, exhale and slide the shoulder down. So we're turning our chest now instead of squaring it to the floor. The other hand can press into the ground to give a little bit of support. Relax the neck here. Relax the jaw here, the tongue, the eyes, all the places that very rarely have to hold tension for us. What can you do to surrender in those places? Inhale, reach the arm up. And if your shoulder's bothering you, lifting your arm up like this is not a nice feeling. So don't do it. Okay, place that hand down. The other thing that can help your shoulder is instead of just reaching your arm out like this, sometimes if you reach your arm forward and up, it can make a difference in your ability to open the chest. And then slide that arm through, place the hand down onto the ground and find your twist here. Breathe deeply, melt the places that tense up. Do what you can to relax. Can you feel that space between the shoulder blades? Is your neck harboring tension? Can you let it go? And then inhale and reach that arm all the way back up in the air, or not. Okay, and then place the hand down onto the ground. Dog pose. Lengthen through your spine. Feel your breath. And if your shoulder bothers you in dog pose, number one, you cannot do dog pose. Try a few things. Maybe bring your arms closer together. Maybe bring your arms further away. Maybe turn your palms out. Experiment with a few things to see if you find a vector of movement that's good for you. Okay, let's walk your feet forward. Come into Uttanasana. Fold in half. Feel free to move here. The body likes to move. Feel free to wag your tail, to bounce a little bit in your legs, to wobble and bobble your head around. Inhale for a halfway lift. Stretch the hamstrings now, the spine grows. Exhale and melt back down. One more time. Inhale for a halfway lift. The spine is growing longer. Exhale and melt toward the floor. Push off your feet. Rise up, reaching the arms to the sky. If you're dizzy, come to the midline, squeeze your hands, tuck your chin. Find your breath. Open things up. Maybe your arms can come up, maybe they don't. Cactus your arms if you want, arms straight out. If you want to open the shoulder blades, but that up doesn't feel good, bring your elbows by your sides and bring your hands out to open your chest, like holding platters. Okay, relax. Arms up to the sky. Exhale and float forward. Halfway lift. Spine is growing. Exhale and melt back down. Step your left foot back. The right foot is forward, coming into a lunge on this side. Let's open up the front and backs of our legs. So feel the hip stretchers, hip flexors start to open. And then square the hips as you straighten that front leg. And remember, stay in your range of motion. Try not to round the back too much in order to give to the legs. So just let the hamstrings be where they're going to be and allow the spine to accommodate that. So you can tuck your chin as you straighten your leg, but try not to have a big hunched round back. And instead, feel the heart expand. Even when you straighten your legs, can you feel the extension of your spine? That back and forth movement is really good for your muscles. All right, and then coming into a lunge. You can either put your back knee onto the floor or lift it up off the ground, however you are wanting to be in your posture today. Reach your arms up, out, or down. So check in with your shoulders, see where you want them to be. If your arms are up, everybody bring your arms out if it's comfortable. I think that's kind of a halfway point. If you need to have them down, have them down. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Feel yourself open across your chest and stretch all the way through your palms. Palms are up, and now point your fingers down. So you just get some stretching through the nerves, and then turn and point your hands out toward the walls next to you. Lift your chest. And then release your hands down onto the ground. If your back knee was on the floor, lift it back up and walk your back foot forward. Fold, let your knees bend, relax your neck. Feel free to open up the back of the body easily, so you don't have to have this real locked in motion. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt back down. Let's step the other foot back. So now our left foot is forward, our right foot is back. Extending through the hip flexors on this leg. See what that feels like. Open the chest. And let's start to come back and forth. Moving. Okay, so have some range of motion here. You can breathe as you move. And know that kind of touching into your extreme stretch and then backing away from it and coming back and forth. This is really good to lubricate not only your joints, but a lot of your fascia and your muscles too. So let's just enjoy warming our body up. Are you enjoying this? Do you like the feeling in your body? Let's come to a lunge. Knee can be down, knee can be up. Find your breath. Find the stability of your legs. Find the midline with your legs. Put your arms where you want them to begin. Maybe they're up, maybe they're out, maybe they're down. Okay. And then once you're ready, find straight out if your body can do that. Palms up again. Breathe deeply. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Create some length in your neck. Lift your crown. Point your fingers down toward the floor. And then turn your palms and place them out toward the walls behind or next to you. And then roll your wrists a little bit while you're here. Keep hugging to the midline. And then relax your arms down at your sides. Come back into a plank. So if you have your back knee down, you can start on all fours and then stretch your feet back. Move your shoulders away from the ears. Find some ease in your neck. Try not to grab your neck with your shoulders. Deep breaths. The core is fully engaged on your exhales. And then put your knees down and slowly come down toward the floor. Bring your arms back, palms facing down toward the floor. Stabilize through your core. Inhale and lift your chest up just a little bit. Your palms are down on the ground next to your thighs. And then exhale and release. Come down. Bring your hands back up to a normal cobra pose. And let's just do some shoulder rolls before we lift our chest up. Lift your shoulders up toward the ears, up toward the sky, and slide them back down. Just doing some range of motion here. And then go the other direction. Take a deep breath in. Open the chest. Lift your heart. Exhale and come back down. Let's try one more time. Stabilize your legs, your core. Find your center body so that you're not pinching your low back as you lift up. Exhale and release. Come back up onto all fours. Finding your breath, ease up your back. So move in any way that feels good to move. And then find your way to dog pose again. Bend your knees a lot. Okay, so you can even feel your thighs up against your ribs. And then bend your elbows a fair amount too. Plug your elbows into your shoulder blades. See if you can feel that action in the back body so we're not relying so heavily on the shoulder joints themselves to stabilize us. As you plug your elbows into the shoulders, start to straighten things out and feel the work being in your back and in your torso instead of at the shoulder joints. And then walk your feet forward, come into Uttanasana. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt back down. Push off your feet. Rise up. Arms go up if you want them to. Exhale and wrap them around. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Open the chest. Spread out the collarbones. Try not to push your ribs way forward. When you're ready, bend your knees and lift your arms away from the spine. Stretching open the front of your shoulders, the anterior deltoids. Relax your neck, your jaw. And then release your shoulders down. Release your hands down. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt. Stand up again. We're going to stretch the tops of our shoulders a little bit. This is a good stretch for your upper trap. We're going to reach back with our left hand and grab your right wrist and then pull that down a little bit, but not so much that you get your shoulders offline. And then lift your ear, okay? So we're lifting our ear up away from our shoulder. Have just a little bit of tug on that wrist. Keep the collarbones broadening. Find your breath. Just open up through the neck, side of your shoulder, top of your shoulder rather. And then feel free to move your head around. So if you want to move your chin up and down, if you want to turn it a little bit, just find the places that feel good. Okay. And come back up. Pause here for neutral for a moment. Lift your crown, yield your feet. Change to the other arm. Grab onto your left wrist with your right hand. We're going to lift the left ear up, up. Find the extension through the side of your body, or side of your neck, I should say. That's part of the side of your body. And drop the shoulder down. Breathe deeply. See if you can bring your breath right into that place. And feel free to move around in any way. So, not only will this stretch the upper traps, but your scalenes too, which are also, those are the muscles on the side of your neck, which are very much responsible for helping your breath when you're using all the extra muscles of breathing, not just your diaphragm. These scalenes attach to your top rib and they lift your ribs up so that your lung capacity can get bigger. But unfortunately, we don't always need them to do the work, and they do it anyway. So come back to neutral. So now shrug your shoulders up toward your ears. Feel your rib cage lift up toward your neck, and just scrunch everything up a little bit. And then let that go. Let's do it one more time. Scrunch your shoulders up and let them go. Turn the palms out. We're going to drop the shoulders away from the ears. Bring your palms to wherever your shoulders allow for comfort. So, you may end up here if your shoulders start to bother you. You may not end up all the way at a T. Palms are facing up toward the sky. Drop the shoulder blades down. Turn the eyes of the elbows up toward the sky as well. Feel your breath. Turn your palms down just like we did earlier, or your fingers down. Find the crown. Drop the shoulders. Try not to hike the shoulders up. Turn the palms out toward the walls next to you. Keep dropping the shoulders down away from the ears. Lift your left ear up, up, up. And then lift the right ear up, up, up. Keep dropping the shoulders down away from the ears. How is your breath? And relax. Roll out your wrists because that's some big nerve sensations, big nerve glides in your arms. Okay, so bring your hands out in front of you like you're holding a tray. Palms are facing up, elbows are close to the body without locking them. So you don't want to hug your elbows into your body, which will make your chest collapse. The collarbones stay broad, the shoulder blades stay back. Integrate the back and front bodies so you're not just pushing the low back and pinching it. Open up the platters on your hands, so turn them out. Feel the work in the back side of your shoulder blades. Feel the collarbones stretch open, the crown lifts, your feet are yielding, the knees are soft. Keep opening up those platters. This is a lot of work for the shoulders to hold this, but hopefully it feels good. Hopefully you're bringing some blood flow into some areas that tend to get locked up. And then we're just going to slide our platters forward and slide our platters out. Okay. What can you do to stabilize your torso? You're engaging your core a little bit. The shoulder blades are stable. The crown is lifting. The knees are soft. The jaw is relaxed. You're breathing as you do this. So, a lot of times we don't use these muscles in the backside of our body. We rely on the traps, the upper traps instead to do so much of our work. So let's just invigorate the mid-back a little bit more. The backside of the shoulder blades, the rhomboids.
All right, and then keeping your platter, stretch your arms straight out. Keep the shoulders down away from the ears. See if you can have that feeling that the traps are not lifting your shoulders. You're not on puppet strings at the shoulders. Our shoulder blade tips are dropping down. Lift your heart. Bring your arms back toward the wall behind you. Palms are still open. And then keeping the shoulder blades really reaching toward the floor, lift your arms upward in front of you. And just see, do you have some space in your traps differently than if your arms are, your shoulders are creeping up toward your ears. So keep the little weights up the bottom edge of your shoulder blades. Open the chest. And then exhale and fold forward. Relax your arms, shake things out, shake your hands out. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt back down. Step your left foot back. Your right foot is forward, coming into a lunge. This time your knee is off the ground. And we're gonna come on up. Bring your arms back, or they're down. Your arms are coming back. The heads of the arm bones are opening, palms are facing forward. See what you can do to open the chest here. A teeny bit of a back bend without compressing the lumbar spine. Stretch into that back leg, lift the crown. And then we're gonna turn and open up to Virabhadrasana 2. All right, so we haven't done a whole lot to warm up our hips, so feel free to move a little bit back and forth if you want to have some range of motion in your hip joint. Just leave your arms out of the equation for a moment. Just going back and forth. And then when you're ready, settle. And remember, your pose could be here, where there's a small bend in your knee. This might be very protective for your knee or your hip. And if you want to go deeper, you can do that too. So find where your range of motion, where you're most comfortable in your pelvis. Find your breath, and we're going to bring our platters into this posture. So shoulders are down, the crown is lifting, there's space in your neck. Feel the back body engage. Drop the bottom tips of your shoulder blades down and toward each other. Feel the back side of your shoulder blades, those muscles in your rotator cuffs work. Are your ribs integrated into the body, or are they popping out? How is your breath? After this for a moment, put your arms where you want them to be. Maybe turn your palms up to begin, and then only turn your hands down. See if you can let that rotation happen at the wrists instead of at the shoulders. Finding your breath. All right, and then come on out of that pose. Bring your arms down at your sides. Turn your feet the other way. So we're coming into a lunge or a side lunge on this side, and just find your way. So let your hip lubricate. Let your knee find where it likes to be weight bearing. Okay. Remember, your pelvis can turn as much as you need to toward that leg. You don't have to try to keep your hips square to the long side of your mat. Try not to over strain your SI joints. Okay. Once you get to a place that's comfortable for your body, stay put. Let's do some platters here again. So before you move your arms, lift your crown. The crown and tail are moving away from each other. The shoulders are down. There's so much space in your neck and your traps. Bring your elbows close to your ribs, but not tucked in. Broaden across your collarbones. Integrate the ribs into the body. Open up your platters. Feel the muscles right in the back pocket of your shoulder blades. Do the work here. Keep breathing. Finding the breath. Shoulders are dropping away from the ears. Crown is lifting. And then as you're ready, stretch your arms out if it's comfortable. Palms are staying up for a moment. And then see what you can do to only turn your hands over, not to roll your upper arms in. So turn the eyes of the elbows up toward the sky, stretch through your fingers. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. Integrate the center body. Ribs are softening into you. All right, great. And then go ahead and straighten the leg. Relax the arms down at your sides. Shrug your shoulders up a little bit. Okay. Turn your feet straight, and then bring your palms together at your hands, together, and then go ahead and lift your arms. As you come up, let your arms separate. You don't have to stay there, but you see if you can go into this inner slide up instead of an outer slide up.
See if that changes anything with your shoulders. If you're okay bringing your arms up, do that. If this is not okay, be where you are okay. Reach and open your chest. Bring your arms out now. Palms are down, but the elbows are turning up. Turn your foot to the front, first side again, right side. We're going to place our elbow on our knee. Keep your left arm on your thigh for a minute. Broaden across your collarbones. Do a little platter here so you can feel the back side of your body work. Integrate the ribs. And then rest the arm for a moment. Instead of bringing your arm up and over your head in a wide swing, bring your arm in front of you. Think of that stretch we did in the very beginning. So slide the arm in front of you, graze your arm against your face, and then reach it up. And see if this changes anything. Turn the palm toward the wall behind you. Pinky is down. Find your breath. This is actually external rotation. It may feel like you're internally rotating your arm. Open the chest. Both feet are rooted. The neck is soft. Slide the race cars down the mid-back so that you can feel that your shoulder blades are moving. All right, and then come on up and turn your body to the second side. So remember, the pelvis goes with, if you need it. Try not to feel like you have to have this lock. Okay. Elbow is on your knee, and remember, your knee can be slightly bent. You can even have your hand here instead of your elbow. So whatever works for your body, palm is facing down. Find a bit of a platter here. Feel that shoulder blade. Integrate the ribs. Draw them into the body. And then when you're ready, slide the arm in front of you. Over your face, lift the arm to the sky. Turn the palm back toward the wall behind you. Pinky is down. Feel that integration in the shoulder blade. Drop the shoulder blade away from the neck. Create some space for your traps. Deep breaths here. Integrate the ribs. Notice this arm, your underarm. See if that left shoulder can move away from the ears too. So try not to creep up your shoulder toward your ear. Both sides are coming down. Find your breath. Okay, great. And then go ahead and come on up. Turn your feet to the long edge. Hands on the tops of your thighs. Stretch down. Let your inner thighs open a little bit. Arms can walk out like dog pose. Arms can be underneath you. Whatever feels good. Letting the back stretch. All right, let's heel toe your feet. In they go. Bend your knees. Halfway lift. Exhale and relax. Step back to a plank. All right, so hold steady. If this doesn't feel good in your shoulders, just come down onto your knees. Finding the breath. Shoulders are moving away from the ears. The neck is so long. Put your knees down to support you on the way down. Interlace your hands behind your back. Take a breath before you lift up. Heads of the arm bones are lifting away from the floor. Shoulder blades are sliding down the back. Inhale and lift everything up. Front and back body are working. The neck is long. The jaw is relaxed. Exhale and melt and relax down. Turn the palms down toward the floor and turn your head to the side. So notice if you always turn your palms up, turn your palms up for a moment and notice the internal rotation of your shoulders. Your shoulders may want to creep up toward your ears a little bit. And then turn your head the other way. Feel the palms facing down toward the floor and the little bit of activity that happens in the shoulders when you do this. The heads of the arm bones lift away from the ground. The shoulders are moving down away from the ears. And then relax. Go ahead and come up onto all fours. Feel free to swivel and sway. Finding your breath. And then come on up. We're going to bring our body to a wall or a piece of furniture. Okay. We're going to take half dog at the wall. So start with your hands on the wall, and then we're going to walk our feet back. And you're going to find the place where, if you do have a shoulder issue, where does it begin? Where do you start to feel that you're doing some weird compensation? And I want you to back away
right before that. So whatever you're finding, your dog pose may end up looking like this and not like this. Just see what your body can do. And whatever you're finding in your shoulders, but once you get there, take your femur bones back. Stretch the ribs, finding the breath, then experiment. What changes when you turn your palms out? What changes when you bring your palms together? What changes when you bring your hands a little higher? What changes when you bring your hands a little lower? Just experiment. Where is the happy place for your shoulder? Turning the eyes of the elbows toward each other, maybe even up. Triceps roll under, biceps lift to the sky. All right, and then go ahead and take a step away from the wall. Find your breath. Come back to stand. Let's just take some circles if they feel good, and it might just be shoulder circles with no arms, okay? You don't have to have arms included in this. Finding the breath. So we're going to do this in a moment seated, but let's experiment with what happens with our body. So we're going to take our left arm underneath us and our right arm over top, and you might be able to interlace your fingers like this, or you might not. And if it might not is the answer, then you grab a strap, okay, and hold on to the strap. This is a lot of internal rotation, which we've been doing everything externally rotated. So now we're just going in the other direction with this arm. So this is very big for your arm to do. So make sure you're staying in your comfort zone. The top arm, we're just opening the triceps. Lift the elbow. Integrate the rib cage. And then relax that. Shrug your shoulders up and down, maybe some circles. Figure out where you want to be. Typically, this next side is a lot more tight for most people. So we're going to bring our right arm behind our back, find your breath, and the left arm is going to reach up. So notice the difference. I could grab my fingers on the other side, and I'm nowhere close on this side. So that might be happening. This is typical. Most people are a little tighter on their right than their left. I think it's because of, right-handed dominance, which I'm not right-handed, but I still have my right shoulder's tighter. Okay, so lift the elbows away from each other. Lift that left elbow up toward the sky. See what it feels like to drop the right elbow down. Try not to go past what your range of motion for internal rotation in that right arm is. Are you breathing? Okay, and then unwind that. And just notice, did that feel good? Did that not feel good? Finding your breath. Okay, and just do a little balance pose. So bring your elbows out in front of you. We're gonna cross what elbow is that? Let's cross the right elbow over the left elbow. So I'm doing opposites. Drop the shoulders, lift the elbows up. Feel the stretch between your shoulder blades. Just enjoy this for a moment, and then we're gonna add the legs. So because our right arm is on top, we're going to put our left leg on top. Stand on your right leg and come into eagle pose. Find your breath. Now you can stick your butt against a wall for balance. You can just do the upper body version, whatever's working for you. Lift your chest, squat a little bit, hug in. Hug your inner thighs, squeeze, give a little squeeze to everywhere. Find your breath, even squeeze your feet. Flex them, squeeze them. And then unwind, put your arms in a comfortable place, legs out. And then exhale and relax. Feel your 2 feet. Find your breath. Now we're gonna find the other side. So we're gonna root into the left foot. And we're gonna lift the right leg up in the air. Okay, cross those legs over. I'm doing the legs first this time. You can do arms or legs first. Because our right leg is on top, our left arm is going to go on top of our right arm. So the opposites. Lift your chest, lift the elbows, squat, hug your inner thighs, hug your elbows, drop the shoulder blades down, stretch behind the shoulder blades, lift your crown. Find your breathing. Square the hips and shoulders to the front. Deep breaths in and away. And then unwind. Bring your arms wherever is comfortable. Stretch open your legs. Exhale and fold in half. Bend your knees and let your back relax. Relax your head, bobble things around. Deep breaths. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale and melt back down. All right, let's come down onto our knees. We're going to come down onto our back, all the way to your back. Lie down on the floor, finding your breath here. Okay, so pause here for a moment. Put your arms in a comfortable place. Lift up your shoulders. Drop your shoulder blades down the back. Feel the openness. Try cactusing your arms and see where your body lands. So when you cactus your arms, your elbows are out from your shoulders. Do the backs of your hands touch the floor or no? Or do you have one that touches the floor and one that doesn't? Just notice how tight are your pec minors and your subscapularis muscles. That's what you're stretching here. Find your breath. And if you feel yourself tight here, try holding like cans of soup or some little 1 or 2 pound weights in your hands to stretch this open. Never go past where your body is comfortable. Drop the shoulder blades down the back. All right, and then we're going to release the hands down toward the floor. We're going to lift up into a bridge pose, opening the chest. The arms are not going to interlace. Arms are down on the ground. Press the backs of the hands into the floor. The palms are facing up. Keep the neck neutral. Try not to press the back of the neck into the floor. If anything, a teeny bit of pressure on the back of the head instead of the back of the neck. Hug the shoulder blades toward each other. Smile, the collarbones open. Take a deep belly breath. And then let's go ahead and rest down. Put your pelvis down onto the floor. Relax your shoulders and windshield wiper your knees. Okay, we're going to roll over onto our right side. You can always put a block or something under your head if you need some support. Grab onto the top of your left your ankle, and stretch that leg back to just stretch the quads. Finding your breath, relax here a little bit. Tailbone toward the knee, pubic bone toward the navel. The other leg on your floor, your right leg on the floor can relax, be bent. And then relax that. Roll all the way over to the other side. You can take your head prop with you if you have one. This time grab onto your right ankle and stretch that thigh. Okay, so be comfortable with your body. Stretch your knee away from the pelvis. Tailbone reaches toward the knee as well. Pubic bone is lifting toward the belly button. The crown and tail are moving away from each other. Try not to let the knee lift in the air. Keep the knee in line with the hip. Finding your breath. And then come back round again. Onto your back, come into reverse pigeon pose. So if you have a wall nearby and you want to put your left foot on a wall, this can be really nice for your neck and shoulders. So all the work we did, if you tend to be like this in reverse pigeon pose where you pick up your head and your shoulders roll forward and your collarbones compress, try putting your foot on a piece of furniture. So I'll put it on the leg of my table here and your right foot on top of your knee. And this way your upper body, you get the exact same stretch in your hip, but you don't have to work for it by compressing your neck, shoulders, and chest. So you can cactus your arms, you can have your arms down, you can have your arms out. So what's nice, what's healing, what's feeling good? Feel the spine grow, widen the sit bones, see if you can nutate the sacrum. All that means is the tailbone dips toward the floor as the top of the sacrum lifts just slightly away from the ground. So we're having like a little anterior tilt of the pelvis. This will enhance the stretch in your hip just a bit. You don't have to do a big movement, just a subtle little movement.
Relax the shoulders. And then unwind that, and let's come to the second side. So put your right foot on a piece of furniture or a wall. Your left foot is on top of your right thigh. So for me, my left hip is tighter than my right hip. So I have to scooch just a little bit further away from the wall to make my hip happy. So I'm not doing a weird thing of trying to hike my hips up toward my shoulders. All right, so find your comfort, stretch through your foot, try not to collapse your foot in the air, and then move your tailbone and lift the top of your sacrum, widen your sit bones, extend the spine, relax the shoulders, breathe deeply. Do you tend to want to take what the hips won't give into your traps? You know, the traps, they're kind of like, I don't know, they're the type of muscle in the body for most people where they're just willing to do anything. You know, they're like the worker bees. They'll just, sure, I'll do that, I'll hold that, I'll do that job. So your traps, they're so willing to take on responsibility that is not their own. So see what you can do to give them the rest that they deserve and need. Tell them it's okay, you don't have to do this job. The hips are doing this job. And then let's go ahead and release. Put your feet on the floor. Feel free to move over a little bit to bring your knees up. Feel free to rock. Feel free to do some happy baby. Feel free to windshield wiper. So whatever your body's needing, calling for, you do that. Okay, so if you have 2 blocks, we're going to come into heart bench to complete our practice. So do this on the low side. Even if you want to do higher, let's be low today. So 1 block on the middle height for your head, and 1 block either like this or like this on the low height for in between your shoulder blades. So if you're real tiny, if your torso is not long, try doing it this way across your shoulder blades. And if you have a little bit longer torso, try doing this way so this along your spine. All right, so heart bench, however, is comfortable for your body. You want the lower block at your shoulder blades and the upper block underneath your skull. Now you get to do whatever you want with your legs. So you can bend your knees and put your feet on the floor. You can butterfly your knees open like Supta Baddha Konasana. You can have your legs straight on the ground. You can have your feet on the ground and knock your knees together. So experiment with where the right place for your props is. So you might find, no, I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it the other way. So you experiment. You know, I don't have a long torso, but so I kind of vacillate. Sometimes I do it with the block long. Sometimes I do it with the block wide. So just experiment with what feels good in your body. Put your arms in a comfortable place. If your arms do not feel comfortable with your elbows dropping back behind your rib cage, put blankets underneath your elbows so that you can relax. You can have your hands on your belly instead of your hands on the floor. You can have your arms wide. You can interlace your elbows and stretch your arms over your head. You can cactus your arms. So just experiment with what's going to feel good for your body today. And then once you find the end, you can change your things around. You don't have to stay in one spot. As you find ease and comfort, melt in and breathe. Feel the feeling of your chest growing, your shoulders dropping down. The work of trying to do everything with your arms and shoulders, let them take the back seat to the feeling of a big open chest and a full breath. Let the back of the head rest too. So even your thinking mind and your doing mind can take the back seat with your arms. there one more layer of your tension onion that you can peel away? Relax your skull, recede the brain, rest the eyes, rest the jaw, melt the neck, the base of the skull. Feel the collarbones get mushy and soft, melt. Let's find our way out of the pose. You're up on props, so be very mindful as you roll over onto your side. Bring your knees close in, curl into a little ball on your side. You can take that block and support your head with it. Take a deep breath into the back side of your body here on your side. And then as we come into Shavasana, perhaps move your blocks out of the way, and perhaps just bring your knees to your chest and rock a little bit, rocking side to side, just easing the ribs, easing the spine from the back bend. Perhaps you want to bring your knees to your chest and around the spine, perhaps a happy baby, whatever's going to neutralize, and then let your body rest. Now, after back bend, sometimes it's hard to lie flat, so you might want to have some support underneath your knees. So take your time. You can also put your legs up on a couch or the legs up a wall. So find whatever position is comfortable for you. Come into the breath. So Shavasana, as always, is our most important posture that we do. It's so important to feel at ease. So as you drop the body, take notice of where you still are having just a bit of tension, and let yourself melt. Pay close attention to the jaw, the base of the skull, the neck and shoulders, the tongue.
And deepening our breathing again. Feel your body come to rest on the floor fully. And as you're ready, start moving your body. Small bits you can rock your head from side to side, or you can move your fingers and toes. Let's eventually find full body movement. Maybe a big stretch, stretching your arms overhead. And come rolling over onto your side. Use your arms to help lift yourself upright. As you come up to sit, take your time. Let's place our palms together at the heart. Feel your crown lift, your heart lift. Offer the energy of your practice, your presence with yourself outward. Share your energy with another. Namaste. Thanks, everyone.